see here in the studio, we had to rearrange things a bit. I think things get a little heated in these situations when we talk about confronting the neighborhood bully. But in this instance, it was the mothers who looked like they were going to go to blows, and we, of course, had to separate Tamara and Joyce. We talk about fathers and how fathers deal with this. We've got one now whose teenage boy was beaten up by 8 bullies. It was a story that made headlines just 9 months ago. The young man was ambushed and attacked right outside his school in Reading, Pennsylvania. The boys hit him in the head, put him on the ground, kicked him all over his body. This is 16-year-old Adam, who is joined by his father, Alan. You have been listening to this story all along. Can you tell me what a parent goes through when you got that call that your child had been attacked by bullies? What is it that a parent goes through?
A lot of anger, rage, first concern about how he is. And when you go in and see your son just covered with black and blue and bruises, cuts, just makes you real mad. And to see little guys like this down here that are just arguing with each other, and to know that my son can be attacked and beaten the way he was, it's incredible.
It makes you wonder if the ones who attacked you started off being little bullies, you know?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what happened that day. It was right outside your school, huh?
I was walking down the street on my way home. The first one came from behind, forearmed me in the back of my head. I didn't know what was going on. I fell on the ground, and the rest of them proceeded to kick and punch me. It was broken up in about 3 minutes by the cops, but the damage had already been done.
Why did they attack you?
Apparently there was a church nearby my school, and someone had wrote something racist on the back of the church, and they thought it was me. The church had painted over it so they couldn't know who to accuse of it, so they singled me out.
Did they get in trouble?
7 of them were put on probation, house arrest. The one was an adult. He's in jail.
He's in jail. Alan, when you went to court and you had to deal with these bullies, any observations that you made in that courtroom? What did their parents say?
The most important thing that I noticed when Adam and we went to about, 7 hearings? 7 hearings altogether. 1 out of the 8 young men that were involved, 1 of them had their parents at the hearing.
Just 1?
Just 1, and they were the only ones that turned around to him and apologized to him for what their son did. The rest, either an aunt, the one young man, they bought a gentleman from Berks County Prison in shackles and prison oranges to represent him at that hearing.
So there were no parents around?
No, one set of parents for 1.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
How has this affected your life, Adam?
I pretty much blocked it out of my mind. The day after it happened, I was right back at school. It's pretty much like my life, you know. School's important. It didn't really affect me that much. I didn't lose interest in anything. I wasn't down about it. Just tried to get back on track.
But as a victim of bullies, what do you say? What warnings do you guys have for people in situations like the families we've been talking about today?
I don't think it should happen. I mean, people, I think it's just one big ego trip. They do it for attention, and I don't know, if they're trying to impress someone, then they're not really doing a good job, because they could end up in jail just like the one did that beat me up. So.
From a bully to a criminal, huh? And what do you say, Alan? As you warn parents, or you have any advice from having been in such a horrible situation?
Talk to your kids if you see something happening between your child and another. Geez, intervene. Intervene, even if you can go with a school or with a church group or with neighbors or friends. Words are one thing, but when it comes to violence, that's a completely different thing.
Are y'all listening to this? I mean, especially Renee and Julie. You have so much ahead of you, so much ahead of you. And let's say something happens and one of you gets arrested for doing the wrong thing. That, you know, angry energy can take you places you never dreamed you'd end up. Does that make a difference to you at all? To hear a story like that?
Yeah.
What are you thinking right now? And please be honest with me.
I'm thinking about how y'all sitting up here telling me I'm the bully.
when I did nothing wrong but walk up out of my aunt's house, and her mother, her sister, and a girl that does not like me, because we went to the mall and she stole. And
Renee, you know something? Let me tell you something. It hurts us to even say that you were a bully, because I know there's a lot more to you than just being a bully. I know there is. Wouldn't you rather us be sitting here celebrating a good friendship, or at least talking about how you were able to work through tough situations, how you were able to put down the violence and find other ways? You can still be in conflict, but you don't have to fight. Do y'all want to work on some ways to do that?
I tried to be her friend. I did everything. My mom and her mom talked, and we even tried to, when we used to go to her school, we had...
Okay, are you willing to try harder? You don't have to be best friends, but you can at least cut a deal not to be trying to attack each other. You got so much more beauty in y'all than to be hitting on each other, don't you think? Will you try?
I mean, we have tried. We were like, okay, we're gonna be friends, but we can't be friends because her mom tells her that she can't be my friend because I'm some type of hoe.
Okay.
My mom has never told me that.
You have told me that out of your
You're never
mouth.
going to ride it, and that's just like a friendship. If you don't keep trying to learn how to ride a bike, you're never going to ride it. So if you don't keep trying at a friendship, you're never going to be a friend.
Since July, and every time somebody has came up in it.
But why would you let? Yeah, that's why.
But honey,
Every time we try to be friends, somebody live. Why can't we try?
Y'all know something? This lady, Susie just said,
and it would usually be her fault.
Susie
She would
just
listen
said
to
one of the
somebody.
nicest things to y'all, that you just have to keep trying. That's what life as friendship is about. And instead of listening and going, you know something, Susie, you might be right. Y'all ready to go back to some ancient history.
Every time we try to be friends, somebody would come in between us and break us up.
Well, I hear somebody came
and you
between
need-
you trying to put you together.
That's when you need to block that person out and
That's
pay no
right.
attention to it.
Because after we left from the store that day,
Give her a chance. We're all learning something in
Okay.
this hour, okay?
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to talk about some ways that you and your kids and the folks here can try to be bully smart. How can we avoid conflict that could lead to violence? I also want you to grab a pen, because coming up, we're going to give you a phone number to call if you feel that your child is being bullied and you're afraid that you need some help. So get that pen and paper and be ready for a good way to start a new day, okay? After this, we'll be right back.